Hello, everybody. Welcome to another wonderful live stream. We're here at Sophis Productions, and today we have a really interesting topic for you guys. That is the recent trade deals that have been happening with Pakistan and the United States of America, and the tariffs that America has slapped on India. 25% tariffs for India and trade deals for Pakistan. So this is like a double-edged sword for India. Maybe Trump is playing a double game, maybe he is. And that's also the title of our video. And we have like a lot of interesting facts. Trump says that Pakistan will export their oil to India. And that seems very weird because we don't know if Pakistan has all those oil fields and oil reserves. Maybe today we can deep down and look at where the oil is in Pakistan, how much are we producing, how much reserves do we have. And so without any further ado, let me introduce you to Anila Shahzad, who's a geopolitical analyst and a writer of a few great books. Her latest book was Geopolitical Frameworks and Dynamics in a Multipolar World. So that is a great book to read, and you can find that on Amazon. We'll copy the link in this stream in the description so you guys can find the book. And what do you think about the recent deal between Pakistan and India, and what is Modi thinking? Has Modi been slapped by Trump in the face?
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, Wali, for having me. And it's a live stream, and hope that people will join. But we realize that it's really quite late. So yes, but these were really very important topics that had to be covered, and especially this deal that the Trump administration has pronounced that they have had this deal with Pakistan, and it's like there's going to be some bargain. There has been a bargain between Pakistan and the USA regarding the oil reserves that are supposedly in Pakistan's offshore, deep down inside the ocean bed. We had the exploration so many times. I think maybe 24 times we have had exploration, and teams have gone in and dig inside the ocean bed and try to find oil reserves, but every time these exploration came out to be unsuccessful, and we found out every time that there is no oil found in all the wells that had been dug by these exploration teams. And the last time in 2019, when in the last previous government, there was a lot of noise, and I think ExxonMobil and some other teams, they were doing this exploration in Kekra 1. That's a block in the, if you look at the map of the offshore region that Pakistan occupies, it has been divided into several boxes or squares or regions, and one of those regions is Kekra 1, where they were exploring, and they dig in the bed of the ocean, and they eventually announced that there is no oil or gas over there. And what is so baffling for me, and really surprising for me, that when the government of Pakistan has announced, and these oil exploration companies that were working for in contract with the government of Pakistan, all the sources had announced in 2019 that no oil or gas has been found, then how all of a sudden has the Trump administration, like before even the Pakistani government announces that they have explored or they have found oil and gas reserves in any of these ocean blocks that Pakistan occupies, before Pakistan has ever announced, how can the Trump administration or Trump himself just tweet one fine morning and say that we are going to extract Pakistan's oil reserves, and they are so big that Pakistan can actually become a regional oil exporter. So,
yeah, but shouldn't we be happy about this change?
We should be.
That is a big question. How does Donald Trump know about the massive oil reserves that Pakistan has, while all the Pakistani people know that we don't have anything? Why don't the Pakistani people know about these oil reserves?
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting time.
Because this is so important that the people, when you're a democracy and you're like in a democratic system, and the people have no idea of any finding anything, and the same thing could happen regarding the rare earths that we are hearing that Pakistan has a lot of rare earth also. And apart from the rare earth, we also have other mineral resources, a lot of them that have been explored, a lot of them that are still unexplored, and especially the rare earth minerals are game changers at this age, because all the big technologies, the AI, the electric vehicle, and the all these very fancy high-tech things, they are going to be requiring these rare earth minerals. And if one fine morning, another fine morning, Trump goes on to tweet and tell the whole world that he has made a deal with Pakistani government that he is going to take out all the rare earth minerals of Pakistan, where do the people of Pakistan stand there then?
Yes, that's actually a very good thing. And plus, you're not focusing on the Indian side. And what is happening with India? Trump has just slapped 25% tariffs on the Indian economy. And Trump is trying to punish India for all the wrongs that they have done. Basically, India was taking all the cheap oil from Russia. And Mukesh Ambani, the billionaire guy from India, he's refining that oil, and they're making like a heavy, handsome profit reselling the Russian oil to the world. And Trump and the Americans were already very furious, and between the trade war that was going on with India, China and USA, what has happened is that India was getting all the benefits because America was going against China, and the only logical area that could surpass China and that has the amount of people that America wants for its factories and has all the talent is actually India, and India is right next to China. So India, when China was being banned all over the world and their technology was being said to be evil, like the Huawei scam that went on, so India actually was getting all the benefits. And then what does India do? India is biting. Modi ji, the Great, has bitten the hand of America by taking Russian oil and being this great leader and standing up for his country. So America doesn't like that at all. And Trump was recently also said that he was the one responsible to end the war, and the opposition leader, the Congress party leader, Gandhi?
Modi?
Rahul Gandhi, yes. So Rahul Gandhi comes up and he says that, Mr. Modi, please tell your nation that Trump is lying. he did not stop the war. And Modi did not respond, because if he would have responded to that thing, maybe Trump would have fired India with like 100% tariff today. So मोदी जी
Right.
से हमारा सवाल ये है आज का जो कि मेन सवाल है वो ये है कि मोदी जी आपके साथ क्या हुआ, क्या आपके साथ अच्छा हुआ या आपके साथ बुरा हुआ या आपके साथ बहुत बुरा हुआ.
Yeah.
So
So there's, the thing about the Russian oil is that when the Ukraine-Russia war started, and there was so much new sanctions that the West put on Russia, and they told everybody that nobody can buy Russian oil. What was happening is that Russian oil was actually going inside, cheap oil going inside Europe, and Europe was benefiting a lot. Ukraine was only the passageway, and all the Russian oil was going and being sold in cheap oil sold in Europe, and all their industries and factories were going on working on that fuel. And when this war started and they could no more buy Russian oil, they thought that if India takes all that oil and then it puts that oil in its ships, and that those ships then bring that same oil to Europe, then maybe they will be able to survive. That was the main idea. But yes, you are right that Ambani has started using it for India itself, or something wrong is happened, and Trump is angry with Modi, although that India and Modi especially has been the very strong, staunchest strategic ally of the US and also of Israel, still yet.
Modi would try to be Trump's best friend, but America is a nation that only cares about its own interests, and it will go against what they commit with a certain country. Like they might have committed some things with Mr. Modi, but now when they see that their benefit is more with Pakistan, and Pakistan is willing to give all these rare earth minerals and its oil to the USA, which is strategically important for the future of United States military, because certain bombs and certain aircraft and certain vehicles and even the lithium that can come out of Pakistan, and it's like a very real weird story, because our neighboring country, Iran, has so much oil, and there is oil when we cross the border, and the same land is touching Pakistan. So why isn't there oil in Pakistan? Does the oil know that there is a boundary between Pakistan and Iran, and it stops exactly at the Iranian border and doesn't come in the area? Because oil has been forming for the past, I don't know, it takes like billions of years to get that oil from fossil fuels. Maybe that is not a true story even. Maybe oil comes from someplace else, because they are also saying that a lot of Saudis have been exporting their oil, taking oil out from the ground, and they've been selling billions and billions of dollars of oil daily. And their oil reserves should have been depleted by now. But they also say that their reserves keep on replenishing, as if there's like a source of oil that is down there. So they might have taken out like 50% of the oil, but then after a little while, after a few years, it gets back to 60 or 70%. So all this oil exploration talk is getting Pakistanis really excited. And where does the oil come from? I'll give you a little facts. So Pakistan heavily relies on oil imports today. Around 85 to 90% of our consumption is imported, and that is around $11 billion annually that we spend on importing crude oil and that is refined, I guess, in the refineries of Pakistan. And domestically, we have proven reserves of 234 million barrels to 353 million barrels, which is, I guess, a very small amount, because if we stop importing oil, this oil wouldn't even last 2 years for Pakistan. So the current oil production, which is domestic production, is 70,000 barrels a day. And we have the Tal block, which is producing 1,700,000 barrels, and the Potohar Plateau, which is also doing like a few thousand barrels per day. And now in the latest 2005, we have discovered the Fakir 1. And this is the latest oil discovery, which is in, you could say, Sindh province. And now, what is like the thing that Pakistan is giving the United States of America? These are the Pakistani offshore blocks. And from 1960, we had like 17 different drill events, and they were all unsuccessful attempts. We found no oil. If we found a little bit of gas, and the most famous of these were the Kekra one, which was in 2019. And it cost Pakistan government like $100 million, and they drilled like 280 kilometers off the coast of Karachi. And who were involved? ENI was involved, ExxonMobil was involved, and they found like no significant oil and gas reserves. So that is like a really interesting story. That though we had so many attempts, why are they attempting to find oil in the first place? Because we might have a huge, humongous oil reserve on the shores of Karachi. And now in 2025, technology has gone so far, and we are also implementing now artificial intelligence to make our new discoveries, and there's an explosion of data, all the seismic data that we have, and people are really, I guess even in 2019, they were really sure that they had oil in the ports of Karachi. And fast forward to today, that they might be announcing, they haven't even announced this to the Pakistani public officially. But when Trump says that Pakistan has big oil potential, they might have like 9 billion barrels that is stuck underground off the shores of Karachi. And with the technology and the infrastructure and the investment, proper investment, America can greatly help Pakistan extract that oil. And then Pakistan might give like oil to the USA on a cost that is like a win-win situation for both the parties. And we know how rich the Saudis and the Emiratis have become because of their oil. So is Pakistan going to have like a new life? And is India and Modi ji going to have the worst economy? The economy has already started to crash
because of these
events. Yes. So can you tell about what is the future of India and what is the future of Pakistan?
Well, India can have a very good future if they make good political decisions. And I've always been writing about this, that India has always been on the wrong boat. When the Russians had invaded Afghanistan, at that time India was in the Russian camp, the Soviet camp, the socialist camp. And what happened, that Russia lost that war in Afghanistan, and it had to not only go back, but the whole Soviet Union collapsed, and dozens of states were made out of Soviet Union, and Russia was, broken down and all that. And after that war, when the Russians lost their war in Afghanistan, at that moment of time, the Indians decided to switch camp and go into the capitalist camp. From that, then onward, in 1991, I think, India announced that they were coming in the capitalist camp, and then their big friendship with the US and also Israel, that thing started. And it was like they were like in the whole of Asia, people were leaving the friendship of the US, because everybody thought that the US is not a reliable friend. They are always ditching their friends. They are always leaving. Pakistan is a major example of that, that Pakistan has always trusted and befriended the US, and they have just left Pakistan, abandoned Pakistan every time they did not need Pakistan. And
but the ball has shifted. It's now in our court because we have all the rare earth minerals.
Yes, but this, what I wanted to point out at this point is that this war, the May War, I call it, which happened between Pakistan and India. Pakistan, however much we don't like our political parties or whatever, our leadership maybe, but the smart thing done by Pakistan was that Pakistan immediately said and announced that Trump was the one who helped the ceasefire to happen. They immediately admitted this thing, and the next thing you know is the army chief of Pakistan went to Trump and told him over there that Pakistan wants to give Trump, nominate Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize.
So did India. India also, no, I think, nominated Trump.
No, they didn't.
Okay.
No, they didn't. So that's, how to win the heart of a narcissist,
Narcissist.
That's what they did.
मिस्टर मोदी के साथ मिस्टर मोदी का मोमेंटम बन गया था और वो घुस गए थे और लाहौर फतह हो गया था और इस्लामाबाद के अंदर सारे तबाह हो गया था सब कुछ. तो मिस्टर मोदी, प्लीज टेल अस के आप ये क्यों नहीं कहते कि ट्रम्प झूठ बोल रहा है, क्योंकि ट्रम्प ने आपकी बार बार बेइज्जती की है. क्या आपको टैरिफ्स का डर था? टैरिफ तो फिर भी आपके ऊपर लग गए, तो फिर क्या वजह है ये कि आप
किस बात से आपने ट्रम्प को नाराज किया, ये बताएं.
नाराज किया है.
ऐसा लग रहा है कि जो ट्रम्प ने कुछ महीने पहले इनसे तकाजा किया था मोदी जी से कि भाई
I think the camera is on me.
Achha.
Just wait. So meanwhile, I'll read the comments. So Janta Amir is here. He's saying hello, ma'am, and
hello, Janta.
I always mispronounce people's names. Anikate TV says garbage people. Why do you think we are garbage people? Haven't you seen your leader, Mr. Modi ji? Isn't he a garbage person as well? So Hamdan Rizwan is saying, stream so late, wow. And Vijay is saying, Pakistan people get happy too early, wait a bit. Yeah, Trump is not the most reliable sort of a person, and maybe he's going to backstab us like America has backstabbed us so many times. But the point remains that the ball has shifted to Pakistan, and Pakistan is not going to leave Mr. Modi ji very happy because now that it's so obvious that Pakistan has a whole trade deal, and Donald Trump is even saying that Pakistan will export oil to India. Now that seems
Maybe he
like a
said.
dream for us Pakistanis because we don't know where that oil is, but as soon as we find it, we'll start exporting to you Indian poor people.
Right.
So we have Fazan with us, and he's saying Pakistani people always happy. You can see the podcasters. And Asma is here, and Mustafa is saying, "What's up? What's up, Mustafa? Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to our live stream." So I'll go further and give you a few more facts about the whole situation. So is this all just a little bit of hype? Because Indian media is saying that why, if Pakistan has like the fifth largest oil reserves of the world, why is like petrol 272 rupees per liter in Pakistan? So that is a very good point because we're paying much over for the price of petrol, and then what happens is that the hype versus, I'm talking about the hype versus reality. And the media often hypes these sort of news. But still, according to the seismic survey, and we have found massive offshore oil reserves. Notably, that is Dawn News that said in 2014 that Pakistan has the fourth largest reserves globally. But still, we can say that no confirmed discoveries have been done from these seismic surveys. And actually, there is still a lot of work to be done, especially drilling all these different areas, because you have to know that you can't just dig and in the first try you'll get so lucky that you'll find all the oil in the whole wide world that you require and that you can export. But we have been doing this for the past, I don't know, from 1960s. That is a lot of time and that is a lot of attempts. And some sources say that we found that oil in 2019, but we stayed quiet. Why is that a thing that always Pakistan is quiet about its natural resources, while all the other countries are saying that they have massive reserves? Like what happened with Jammu Kashmir, the occupied part of Kashmir, for all our viewers. So what happened is that they found like the world's biggest lithium reserves that were in Kashmir. And as soon as you cross the border, because Kashmir wasn't even like two places, it was just one place, and then Pakistan and India fought over Kashmir, and now it's divided into Azad Kashmir and Jammu Kashmir. So the same mountain, when it enters Azad Kashmir, has no lithium reserves. And the same mountain, when it enters the Indian side of the territory, it's the biggest lithium reserve. So and we know about Hunza and Gilgit, and we'll talk about all the resources that we have over there, because we also have rare earth minerals. And you guys should know that there is a lot of potential. But why is it so that we have been protecting all this good news and we've been protecting our mineral resources, and we don't want to export, or we don't even want to mine? Sometimes there's this quote that people say that I'm waiting for the right time. So is Pakistan waiting for the right time?
Yeah, very interesting. About the rare earth minerals, this thing has come out in the recent years. Like people did not know, governments did not know about the rare earth minerals. They had not been explored, and their value had not been known to people and countries. And because these minerals are now being used in the high-tech things, now their importance has come up, and people realize now that these were the resources that were lying in their countries, in their soils, but now they know their value, and the value has really gone up. So yes, you're right, we have been quiet, especially about the 2019 discovery. I also feel, and I felt at that time also, that the way the government, officials were talking about this, the exploration, it was like something like very clear that the gas and oil has been already found. But what happened? I mean, if it was really not there, then how all of a sudden after these, 7-8 years, how has Trump does he have an oracle or something, a genie who is telling Trump that there is so much oil over there? Or maybe ExxonMobil and these people, they have gone and told the Trump administration that yes, there was a lot of oil and we stayed quiet because of some political reasons, or what? Because maybe at that time Pakistan was not in the good books of the US.
But can there be like a bigger game that is being played in the background? Because we understand that in the 1970s, Pakistan was a better performing country. Even it was better than India. It was considered among the Asian tigers, like it was the top 5, and we had like good PIA, our railway was working, even our steel mills were the biggest ones. And it was like a country with a lot of potential. But when Bhutto came and he introduced his revolutionary policies like what happened, nationalization of all these refineries and steel mill and everything. And the point comes that at a certain point, Pakistan decided that money wasn't the most important thing for us. Maybe money would be better for destroying. And plus, now you see that there's a global shift in the world politics, and there is new powers emerging, and there's a big war between Russia and Ukraine, and it's a proxy war between Russia and United States. And India is also getting bigger and bigger, and it has a lot of more industry than Pakistan as well. But the point is that now that the global system is changing, maybe it was more about the dollar system as well, because now maybe if we export our oil or if we get our minerals out right now, we might be more in a better financial situation than even all the Saudis and the Emiratis, and maybe the trillions of dollars that these guys have in their treasuries is going to be worthless in a few years. So why did they give all their precious resources away just to get a paper note, which might say $10 or which might say $100, or it might be a US Treasury? But the point is that it's just a piece of paper in return for all of your natural resources. So is there some bigger game that Pakistan might have played by keeping its oil and all of these things hidden from all the world? Because we also can see that all around the world, the countries, the African countries who are the most resource rich, who have everything, even some of these African countries are the biggest producers of oil. Libya was a great example, and Libya is now destroyed, and so are a lot of African nations. They're in perpetual war, and because of these resources, there are actually civil wars going on for years and years with no end. And sometimes for the third world countries, if they find like a huge amount of mineral resources or oil, that becomes like the biggest curse.
Yeah. Africa is actually called the cursed mineral continent. And you are exactly right, because we also have a very large resource of gold, and gold is going to be maybe the new currency of the world, and the value of gold is going to increase many folds, the people are saying. And Pakistan has had this litigation with I think it was an Australian or a Canadian company that had made a deal with some previous government of Pakistan for extracting gold from the copper mines of Reko Diq and in Balochistan. But that whole project is gone into litigation. and those companies are not being able to like do the work. So I think there is some extraction going on in Reko Diq, but it is a limited type of extraction, and no international company has still yet been given any contract. And same thing about this oil, offshore oil. And you're right, maybe there is a bigger game because, who can be the biggest buyers of Pakistani oil? Yes, the US can be a big buyer, but how far the US is and how much like more cost it will like occur to take this oil from the Pakistani shores to cross the whole of Atlantic first, I think, and then reach that the US. So why not sell the same oil to China, who is always in need of all this oil, and maybe also sell it to India, who is this poor neighbor of ours.
But that's the route that India has tried to take. India tried to become this great nation which was self-sufficient and which could make its own decisions, and it was a big boy now. So what happens is India...
So I was going to say that, yes, just what you said, that the whole economic system is changing. The whole political framework, global political framework is changing. The unipolar moment has ended, and the multipolar era has started. And in this new era, the BRICS and the SCO and some other different, big economic platforms, they have already started drawing the picture of how the new currency of the world will be, and that currency might just as well be backed by gold. And that's the reason why central banks of so many countries are accumulating gold at a very high speed,
That's actually America's plan as well. If they want to reduce their debt, maybe they could revalue the gold to $10,000 an ounce overnight. And what would that do potentially? Because America has so much gold stored in Fort Knox and in the New York Stock Exchange. And because they're going to set the price, reset the price of gold overnight, and they're going to make it like a big jump so they can reduce their debts. America has no way out of this $37 trillion loan debt that they have, and that's just the top of the pyramid. Think about all the stocks, think about all the other sorts of loans that they have, and it's like such like $100 or $200 trillion gap that these guys have to fill. And what better way to fill it with increasing the price of gold? And we have a lot of people actually watching. There was like 14 people watching us, and Rishi Kishore is saying that Asma is saying पाकिस्तान के पास जो मिनरल्स और एनर्जी रिसोर्सेज हैं वो अगर सही तरह से एक्सप्लोर किए जाएं तो हम सिर्फ साउथ एशिया नहीं दुनिया में भी इकोनॉमिक गेम चेंजर बन सकते हैं. That is very right, and that's what we're going to talk about right now. I'm going to give you great facts, Asma, about all the situation. Yes, Mustafa Harun says, America, did someone say oil? Donald Trump is like, guys, I heard oil somewhere, and it's the Pakistanis. And Rishi is saying that oil is in Balochistan, and I'm not. Yes?
Acha. Oh.
रहने दे. अच्छा. Acha. Mustafa Harun, Rishi, please use like language that we can read out. We appreciate everyone who's watching. And we want to read out what you guys are thinking, but just keep it in a professional tone so we can read it out loud. So Mustafa is saying, run it, bro, it's 2025. And he's saying, America, I smell something, it's that oil. Divide and conquer. And Wolfie is here. He's saying most of the resources are in Balochistan, and after America and Israel take care of Iran, they will come for Pakistan to divide it into parts. That is the oldest thing, because we hear that there's this map that these Israeli people, Mossad people, or these Zionist people have created, which has Pakistan in like 4 or 5 different sections. But then you have to understand that if you have to break Pakistan, you also have to break India, because the Punjab is the same area. If Punjab becomes independent from Pakistan's side, so obviously the Sikhs are going to say that the Indian side of Punjab should be also a separate country, and the Punjab should be united, because the boundaries that were drawn by Mountbatten were so bad. And he never even got to visit any of these areas. He just had this outdated map and he just drew his boundaries. So now if you really want to break Pakistan, you have to break India as well into pieces. So that is not a good story for both of us. So before you comment on religion or identity, that's what I'm saying, maybe educate yourself first. So there's like this fight going on, and we know that Trump can taco anytime. That is what Trump is known for. Now, about Balochistan, it's rich minerals like natural gas, coal, copper, and gold. In fact, one of the largest copper gold, that is what we're going to talk about today. We're going to give you facts about all the minerals that we have in Pakistan. And the world is... gold deposits in the world in Reko Diq and in Chagai district in Pakistan. Ramjas is saying, nice joke beggars. That's what our Prime Minister said, that beggars can't be choosers, and it was like, became a meme.
But the new meme is surrender.
Surrender Modi. What do you think about surrender Modi? From Narinder to surrender. So coming back to our topic, we've got like 40 new offshore blocks that are up for exploration, and even Turkey and Russia are doing their joint venture and they're helping Pakistan. And now we're going to talk about the new US-Pakistan trade deal that just happened today or yesterday maybe. But it's just a few hours that have been passed since this deal has been announced. And it has mentioned the cooperation in developing Pakistan's oil reserves. And Trump's claims potentially massive reserves hinted at future oil exports to India. So he's saying that Pakistan has such massive reserves that Pakistan could easily export, not only fulfill our own desires, but also export that oil to you Indian guys. And we'll make sure to not overcharge you guys, because we know that you are also having a lot of financial issues, and the poverty that you guys have is just, that is the point that I wanted to discuss as well. Why is India-Pakistan fighting? If we join our hands together, maybe we can eliminate poverty in a much more effective way. Because if there wasn't any border between Lahore and Delhi and all this divide that has been going on for the past, I don't know, 70, 80 years. And if Pakistan and India work together, that's what Imran Khan was saying, we can be much more effective in eliminating the poverty of both the regions. What do you think about that?
Yes, Pakistani leadership always, I have found that they've always been talking about friendship and Aman Ki Asha and all these things. But the problem comes from the Indian side, because in India, especially the RSS and their backed party, the BJP, and even the Congress, they have this problem of hating Pakistan. And like they run their elections, like our elections are run on the slogans of, giving food and electricity and these, amenities, and promising these false promises. But in India, elections are run by slogans, anti-Pakistan and anti-Muslim slogans, which is a very big tragedy. And if that was not so, so many crores of people, Muslim people living in India would be like happy with the country, and so many other minorities, they are also unhappy under this, fanatic ideologies of the Indian government. Even if you show the video that I was looking at, video of Modi ji also and Amit Shah, and they standing in the parliament, what they are saying, they are bashing the Muslims across the border and also inside India. So that's not a healthy politics for India. And that is the reason why India is always at the edge of breaking down. It's such a big, such a wide area, land mass, but it is because the government is so anti, minorities, especially so anti-Muslims. There is always this chance that the Muslim states where the Muslims are in majority, they might rebel against the Indian government. And on the other side, you just mentioned the Sikh province, the Punjab and Haryana. They are both Sikh majority provinces, and they want to be independent. They've always stood for their independence. And the seven sisters across Bangladesh, they are also, each one of them has several separatist movements in each one of them, and they've made their own national anthems, they've made their own flags, and they are always telling the government of India that they want to be independent. And on the
recently they have expelled Muslims to Bangladesh as well.
Yes, in Assam there is going to be an election, and Modi ji did another very nice thing called the citizen amendment bill or act. And they used a beautiful, language in it, saying that all, immigrants from Pakistan, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, and here and there, who are minority religions like Hindu, Jain, Christians, if they migrate into India, they will be accepted as legal immigrants. But all the in other words, they were saying that all the Muslim immigrants, because millions of Bengalis are living in India, millions of other Muslims from other regions, even maybe so many from Kashmir, they have been residing in India. Even in the last 20 years, when the US and Afghanistan war was happening, so many Afghanis were welcomed in India, because India wanted to use them.
Supports India's terrorist and India supports Pakistan's terrorist. Isn't that the age-old war?
Yes.
And I also want to read a comment as well. Roman case is failed marshal. Maybe he's referring to the field marshal, and he's saying failed marshal. And what is the current status of Pakistan's agreement with Barrick Gold on Reko Diq project? Yes, I was listening to this interview from this guy who is like this billionaire investor, and he is heading Barrick Gold, and what he said about Pakistan was like he might have had the whole Reko Diq project under his belt, and he paid like this hefty, handsome amount to these people, but it doesn't matter if there's a piece of paper that says that the whole of gold that is in Reko Diq is yours, because of the geopolitical scenario and the local scenario, because Balochistan is not always the most, what you could say, peaceful area, and safest and peaceful, and there's a lot of terrorist attacks happening over there. So the guy said, the Barrick Gold, that this billionaire investor said that a place like Pakistan, you have to have connections with like the brother of the mining head, or the brother of the Salah of the governor. So in Pakistan, business is done in a very different way. There's a lot of people that you have to know, and you have to send a lot of gifts, big gifts, and keep everyone keep everyone happy. It's not as simple as just having a piece of paper that I own this place, because you can't step your foot in there. You're going to be like brutally murdered, and you can't like come up with all these factories and this heavy equipment and be like mining while the locals are just looking at you. So after a little while, Barrack Gold had to sell all its thingy
Contracts.
back to Pakistan, or even the contracts expired, and it's been years and years, and now it's been 2025, and now they're again talking about renegotiating the terms. And
So, the people who have been killed in Balochistan are many times they were Chinese people who were working with Pakistan on the CPEC project and trying to develop things in Gwadar and other projects of CPEC. And that is the tragedy, that these terrorists, if they were like, we are definite that these terrorists are backed by enemies like India maybe, because they are always targeting the projects and the people who are going to be game changers for Pakistan, because CPEC is one very big game changer, and its completion and the completion of the Gwadar port and city is going to like change the future of not only Pakistan but especially of Balochistan, and all the all the anger that the Balochi people have had for so many decades against the Pakistani government, that they have not like done a lot for the welfare of that province. Those would be answered.
That's like the problem that has been since the first day, because all these people who are the locals that live in Balochistan, that live in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, all the places where they have all these rare earth minerals, that is like a green signal for everybody to go over there, especially the Taliban go over there, they do their terrorist activities, then the Pakistani army has to come and they have to eliminate. And what about the local people? If they smile and talk to the Taliban, they're the enemy number one and they'll be killed immediately. And if they smile and talk to the army people, then the Taliban are after them, because Taliban are known for their suicide attacks and for all of this heinous activity that they have been doing for such a long while. So actually, the minerals that come out of these places that are worth billions and billions and billions of dollars are the reason why these places can't move further, because there's like such a big incentive for a lot of major players to just take over that place and keep all that gold for themselves. So with that, let's just continue. I'd read a comment or two. Mohammed Fazan is, I've read that one. D. Wolfie says, whenever I see geopolitics, it's like I'm watching a cinema. These days, yeah, it's actually, you don't have to watch Netflix or watch a Hollywood movie. You can just open the TV, open any news channel, and you'll find all the drama and everything over there. And Bilal is saying, Trump ne Modi ka software update kar diya. Trump ab khul ke India ki pungi bacha raha hai. And Janta Amir is saying, Pakistan Zindabad. So thank you, all of you guys, for such nice comments, and we appreciate everyone who's in our live stream, and especially it's so late at night and we're doing this, and thank you for everyone who's seeing, even if you're from Pakistan or India or USA, anywhere around the world, and we appreciate, and please do like, share, and subscribe these live streams. It's like a free way to support this channel. So without further ado, let's get back to our topic, and that is that about the mineral wealth of Pakistan. So this is like mid-2025, and a series of dramatic events have shifted the economic outlook for both Pakistan and India. And the trigger was a surprising geopolitical twist. US President Donald Trump has announced steep 25% tariffs on Indian goods. And let that sink in for a bit. Mr. Modi ji, if you are such good friends with Donald Trump, and you can go to the USA and do this, the biggest political convention with Donald Trump. Why is he now imposing like a steep 25% tariff on all Indian goods? And a new partnership has been emerging between Pakistan and the USA, meanwhile. And it's because of the new development that Pakistan has massive, massive oil reserves. And almost it's like overnight that Pakistan, which was long neglected, and we had like so much mineral wealth, but no one was talking about it, from like oil to gas to coal to copper, lithium, and we're going to talk about even more. And now, in 2025, somehow, the focus of all the geopolitical powers is on Pakistan. And India's markets have fallen like a big amount today at the tariff shock, and it's raising fear of Indian growth, economic growth that they were so proud of, because they were like that we have so much economic growth, we're going to be the number one in a few years. But with like 25% tariffs, what do you think? Is your country going to grow in the same way? Or is America going to have a better growth trajectory? And also about the H-1B visas, because that's been like the topic of Trump's administration because of these H-1B visas. Actually, America doesn't have any great intellectuals because, yeah, they have a population, but what they're good at is getting all of these talented people from all over the world. So a university might have like 50 PhD students and 40 of them are not even from the United States. So because of that, there's this H-1B visa which allows the American companies to hire Indian people for a much less salary. And it's a way that the American companies are making a lot of money because they don't have to pay as much. And although the Indians are getting exploited, but they don't have anything in their own country in the first place, so they prefer being exploited by the Americans and going to the H-1B program. And all these now, you see all the CEOs of all the major companies in America, all of these are Indian people. And that is because of the fact that they're good at, I want to censor the next part, good at what you can say,
compliance.
Compliant. They're compliant. So
definitely, whenever you're in any institution or you have to comply with your higher ups.
So should I continue? Do you want to add something?
Well, I was thinking about this thing that things always are like bad things happening in Balochistan. There are terrorist activities and they are separatists. The BLA especially is an old militant organization that has been backed by and funded by India, and they have given them weapons and what not, and they have been talking about a separate Balochistan from so many years now. And Modi ji has, in the last year, I think I was reading that news and even hearing him say that he wants to save Balochistan. He wants to come and help the people of Balochistan. Why does any Prime Minister of Pakistan ever say that Shehbaz Sharif is going to go and save the people of Sikh Punjab, or go to Assam and save the people of Assam, or any that is internal issues of their own country. So how could another President or Prime Minister, Modi ji, stand on the podium in the parliament or wherever they say, and say that they are going to come and help Balochistan and have it gain independence against Pakistan? What is this like mentality? What is this thing. And what does this prove? If it doesn't prove that Modi and the Indian government have been supporting the separatist BLAs, especially against the government of Pakistan. And that's why the government of Pakistan has to many times take very harsh measures in Balochistan, and then there is so many fingers pointed towards the government, because when there is a government, there are crimes in every country, but if you are going to rebel against the country, if you are going to say that we want to separate the province, of course the government will have to take harsh measures. This happens in all European countries, even in the US. If I would remind you that in the Occupy, Wall Street movement, what happened, that the police literally beat up, and they imprisoned so many of those protesters and beat them up and do all type of harsh things with them. And right now, a few days back, you remember, and you can tell us better what the ICE people were doing with these
all the illegal aliens
Yeah.
that are in America. But with the Occupy Wall Street movement, it had a few flaws, because America is like a capitalist nation. And what these guys were planning wasn't actually capitalist, because in a capitalist economy, the best business wins the trade war, and you have to be good to succeed. And that is what is happening in America, that a few handful of rich people are getting richer and richer. They're printing billionaires by the day, and the poor people are getting poorer and poorer. But is the problem that America is like a capitalist nation? That is why that is happening, or is it happening because they are moving towards a more of a socialist system in which the big banks are in bed with all of these big companies, and they provide them with billions and billions of dollars? So when the money is printed, it first goes to all of these big people, and they get billions and billions of dollars, and then they give a little here and give a little there. So the
that's
normal man
that's
is...
not socialism, that is capitalism.
It is, because governments can't support companies. Government will support the company which is already the best, but America has a lot of zombie companies, and America is spending like $2 trillion government spending each year. And where is all this money going? It's not going. If it was the capitalist system, they might spend only $100 million, and they might introduce the best artificial intelligence and go the cleanest route. But there's a lot of waste. There's a lot of money being given to God knows who. Defense contractors are making like billions of dollars each year, and
Like
the
this
stocks.
corruption.
And how does Nancy Pelosi know about the stock market? She's like the best investor. She has only a small salary that is given to her by the government, but she's worth millions and billions of dollars. And whenever she trades any stock, it just goes like to the moon, because most of these people are also involved in insider trading as well.
Manipulation of this, yeah.
Yeah, and insider trading. What if I have credible knowledge that something is going to happen in the next 12 hours? Maybe it's a report from a big bank, or it's a report of a company that their revenue or their sales have been like falling 10-20% the last quarter. And that report is supposed to come out like at the end of the trading day on a weekend. And only a few hours prior to that, I have that knowledge. So I can just manipulate. Insider trading is one of the biggest frauds in the United States, and they don't take this lightly. But apparently, all of the Congress and the Republicans and the Democrats, they're all involved in insider trading. And that's like... So coming back to our topic, which is Pakistan, and Study Sanctuary is saying at the middle of the night, garam topic. So we always come up with garam topics. And coming back to our thing, we're talking about Pakistan's resources. So Pakistan's resource story has been one of the greatest promises, but has limited progress. For instance, the country's largest gas field, which is at Sui, was discovered way back in 1952. But all major oil has remained elusive. In like 2019, then our Prime Minister Imran Khan hyped a possible massive offshore find and potentially Asia's largest oil offshore find. And that proved false when the drilling yielded nothing, or they knew that they had oil, but they didn't tell anyone because of some reason that is unknown to us mere mortals. And similarly, the mineral-rich province of Balochistan has deposits of copper, gold, and other minerals, and notably Reko Diq in Sandak. And why has Reko Diq's development stalled? Is it because of political disputes and security issues? And for Reko Diq, because Reko Diq is one of the world's largest copper gold deposits with 41.5 million ounces of gold and 5.9 billion tons of copper ore. How much would that be worth? Because copper is like going up in demand, and people are fighting over silver is going up, copper is going up. All of these commodities are having like this super cycle that we haven't seen before. And maybe it's the right time to get our gold. Now that is like more than $3,000 an ounce, we can start selling our gold to the.
Or wait a few months.
Few months, it would be $10,000 an ounce. So
that's a good thing. That means that because of all these litigations and all these things, Pakistan is now in a very much better position. And if you know that currency, global currency, is going to be backed by gold, then Pakistan can have all the gold it needs in its own backyard.
And India, by contrast, has industrialized earlier, and it's trapped some seismic resources, but it still feels short of self-sufficiency. India has a modest oil and gas reserve, about 4.9 billion barrels of crude versus 350 million barrels that Pakistan has. So that is like not even 10 times, even more than 10 times. So it relies, but it still relies heavily on imports of fuel, and it builds a robust mining sector in coal, iron ore, and other minerals, critical minerals. And only in February 2023 did India announce its first significant lithium find, 5.9 million tons of inferred lithium resources in Jammu and Kashmir that I was just talking about.
That is ours then.
And that discovery in the region is long torn by conflict and is hinted at a new chapter in India's resource history, one that could support its clear energy ambitions, but without all the years to pay the dividends and everything. So both of these countries are in themselves resource rich, but sometimes there is a thing called resource curse, and there's like enormous mineral wealth, estimated about 6 to 8 trillion in value, that is lying mostly untapped. And India might it might be easier for India to access its resources, but it's scrambling to secure the high-tech minerals that it lacks. So with that, what are the game-changing discoveries and deals of 2023 and 25? So in recent years, the game changer discoveries and between the Pakistan and India are the offshore oil hopes. And in 2025, President Trump claimed that USA had concluded a deal with Pakistan to jointly develop a massive oil reserve, and it would be even equipped with the latest technology. And then someday, Pakistan might sell its oil to India, and that has like baffled the whole of India. The stock market started collapsing, and they're having the biggest nightmare. And Pakistan's Arabian Sea waters, this place where the oil is coming out is the Pakistan Arabian Sea water. And while there is only a tiny fraction of that we have explored, it's estimated that it's going to be, once we know the scale of all this thing, it's going to be absolutely humongous, and it's going to be a game changer, and it's going to solve our debt crisis, and it's going to solve our energy crisis. So with all of that, what do you say about the geopolitical scenario? How is this going to affect Pakistan and India and the whole region if we have like $7 to $8 trillion of these minerals? So isn't Pakistan going to be the #1 GDP of the world?
Well, hopefully. We are all hopeful because, it's not just Pakistan, it's the whole Asian continent, because analysts have said that the next coming century, which might already have started, is going to be an Asian century, because the European economies, the economies of the G7 countries and even the G20 countries, they are falling down, they are falling apart. And in the past decade, we have seen so many European countries getting bailouts from the European Union banks and all that. And you just mentioned that the US is under a $37 trillion debt, which is the largest depth of human history. I mean, even in today's contemporary world, there is no other country that is having so many, like Pakistan has a few $billion of debt. And IMF is always, every year and every 6 months, they are coming like banging at our heads that you are not paying your debts and you're going to be declared as a failed state or and all that. So what about the US, who has $37 trillion of debt, and they're taking more debt? Trump has the big, beautiful bill meant to take many more $1 trillion from the treasury and just keep on printing those dollars. I mean, that is like a thing that what I was saying, that because of those wrong things that the Western nations have done, because of the evil of capitalism, because capitalism is an idea of like accumulating capital, accumulating profits. I mean, and there is a limit to how much you can accumulate, how much does the earth have, how much does humanity have, how much are you going to accumulate and keep on making those billionaires and trillionaires. So that cycle has to stop at some point. I mean, you can't go on doing that. It's not practical. So that moment of time has arrived that the earth cannot give those capitalists, profiteers, more things to dig out and more things to sell and more things to cheap labor for humanity to give to them. So this cycle is coming to its natural end, and that is the reason why China and Russia and Japan even, and these Taiwan and this Vietnam, Singapore, and all these, Indonesia and Malaysia, they have a lot of economic potential. So that is going to happen in any case, that Asian countries or the big BRICS countries or the SCO countries are going to be the next G7s or G20s, and Pakistan is hopefully going to be in the list because, you know, already because of the CPEC project, if it gets completed, China has been calling the CPEC its flagship BRI project. यानी BRI के projects तो पूरी दुनिया में फैले हुए हैं, अफ्रीका में, साउथ अमेरिका में, और पूरे एशिया के कंट्रीज़ में, यूरोप में, इवन यूरोप के भी बहुत सारे कंट्रीज़ में बेल्ट एंड रोड के प्रोजेक्ट्स फैले हुए हैं. लेकिन चाइना कहता है कि CPEC जो कि पाकिस्तान के अंदर से गुजरा है वो इसका फ्लैगशिप BRI प्रोजेक्ट है. वाई? बिकॉज जो सड़कें वो अफ़गानिस्तान से निकालना चाहता था, ईरान से निकालना चाहता था, और आगे सीरिया से वो सब बेल्ट जो है ना वो जंगों की वजह से और बदअमनी की वजह से और सैंक्शंस की वजह से उन जगहों पर काम होना मुमकिन नहीं था. तो इस एरिया को, पूरे सेंट्रल एशियन रीजन को और रशिया को अरेबियन सी के साथ जोड़ने के लिए एक ही रास्ता जो था वो वायबल और इंडिपेंडेंट फ्री रास्ता था, वो पाकिस्तान के अंदर से गुजरता था. और वो एक लाइफलाइन है जिसकी चाइना को लामहला तौर पे ज़रूरत है. ये पाकिस्तान की ज़रूरत नहीं, ये चाइना की ज़रूरत है, ये सेंट्रल एशियन स्टेट्स की ज़रूरत है, अफ़गानिस्तान की ज़रूरत है, क्योंकि अफ़गानिस्तान भी लैंड लॉक्ड है. रशिया की ज़रूरत है. और आपको पता ही है कि रशिया कितने सदियों से इस चक्कर में है कि वार्म वाटर्स ऑफ अरेबियन सी तक कैसे वो पहुँचें. सो just because of the position Pakistan has, just because it is an independent sovereign country, Pakistan has this strategic and geo-economic, you know, position in which just by being there, Pakistan will, profit a lot, because China has to like move all its goods through the CPEC road. The whole Central Asian countries have to do that. Afghanistan will have to do that. Even Russia wants to do that. So game changer बिल्कुल है. और इंडिया के लिए भी गुड हो सकता है, लेकिन इंडिया की प्रॉब्लम ये है कि वो हमेशा गलत बोर्ड पे होता है. मैं ये लिखती रही हूँ इससे पहले कि इस वक्त जबकि पूरा एशिया का जो है ना ग्लोबल नॉर्थ और ग्लोबल साउथ बन गया है. अभी पहले तो ईस्ट और वेस्ट होता था ना कि ईस्ट अगेंस्ट वेस्ट. अब ग्लोबल नॉर्थ जो कि वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज़ हैं और ग्लोबल साउथ जो कि वो सब कंट्रीज़ हैं जो कि रशिया और चाइना के साथ अलाइड हैं. और रशिया और चाइना हर कदम पे कोशिश करते आए हैं और अभी भी कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि इंडिया उनके साथ मिल जाए. मगर इंडिया जो है ना वो गलत बोर्ड पे सवार होने पे हमेशा बज़िद रहता है. वो इंडिया का US का एलाई बनना चाहता है, वो इज़राइल का एलाई बनना चाहता है, जो कि दोनों गलत फैसले हैं उसके. और वो ऐसे फैसले हैं जो उसको अपने रीजन में आइसोलेट कर रहे हैं, अपने चाइना के साथ आइसोलेट कर रहे हैं, रशिया के साथ आइसोलेट कर रहे हैं, ईरान के साथ आइसोलेट हो गए हैं वो लोग. तो ये फैसले गलत पॉलिटिकल फैसले हैं जो कि इतने बड़े इंडिया को, इतनी पॉपुलेशन, इतनी रिसोर्सेज सब के बावजूद उसको पीछे धकेल देगा. बिकॉज चाइना वुड बी सो हैप्पी टू डू बिजनेस विद इंडिया if and only if it would leave the friendship of the United States, who is actually hell-bent on destroying China economically also and strategically also.
That's a great point. And let me read out a few comments. And Mohammed Fazan is saying, please, Urdu please, it's 1 hour. मेरे ख्याल से हम लोग उर्दू में वैसे आ गए हैं. Now that Pakistan has even defeated India in PUBG, we're on the top of the world. I haven't heard that news. Maybe that is true. We're better PUBG players. And winning price is $400,000. I don't know what that means.
PUBG की कोई बात है
शायद. हाँ शायद PUBG का price. And Ikra Tabassum says, ये लाइव स्ट्रीम देखकर मुझे भी लगने लगा कि मेरा बैकयार्ड में भी ऑयल फील हो सकती है.
Maybe.
Yes, that is how it is.
Yeah.
पाकिस्तान में हर जगह तेल है, मगर हम लोग तेल अपना निकालना नहीं चाहते और छुपा के रखते हैं. तो yes, ट्रेजर हंटर्स की सीरीज हम लोग देखते थे और वो अपनी बैकयार्ड में ना शुरू हो जाते थे खोदना और कुछ ना कुछ निकल आता था. So talking about Pakistan again, we're talking about all of the minerals that are in Pakistan and the huge $7 to $8 trillion of wealth, untapped wealth that is Pakistan. And first, let's talk about lithium, which is the white gold. And lithium is like critical for batteries, especially for electric vehicles and renewable energy storage. And Pakistan has potential lithium reserves in Chitral and Gilgit-Baltistan. And there have been extensive geological surveys. And Waziristan region, initially, it showed promise signs of lithium. And Pakistan's geological survey deposit has shown that it's economically viable. And they have shown a detailed map of where these minerals are. And now Pakistan is also asking for investment from all the world's major players. And what are these rare earth elements? They are basically the elements that are essential for the advanced technologies like smartphones and military equipment and electronics. And we have major rare earth elements potential, especially in the Gilgistan area. And there have been huge discoveries around the Sakardu and Hunza region. And even in Balochistan, in the Chagai area, we are very rich in rare earth elements. And there's a little bit of security challenges in both of these regions, but still there's mining operations that are going on today in 2025. And China right now is like the leader in rare earth elements production, and Pakistan has this potential to become the regional dominator in all of these rare earth elements. And if you talk about copper, we have Reko Diq and beyond Reko Diq, and Reko Diq is the largest copper reserves globally. And it's estimated to have 5.9 billion tons of copper ore, and it has significant gold as well. And recently, between the 2003 and 2025, Barrick Gold signed a $7 billion investment deal to restart its mining operations. Remember, I told you about the Barrick people. They tried to buy these gold mines back like 50 years back, but they couldn't do their mining operations. And finally, we are making a deal with Barrick and also with the Saudis that we're going to start mining all of these precious metals, even gold and copper. And the potential revenue just from Reko Diq could be billions and billions of dollars. That's what Donald Trump says, billions and billions. And it's like a great, massive job, but it has like the potential to truly transform the whole Pakistan economy, because we are like asking for like $1 billion or $2 billion, and we're going all around the world, and no one's giving us money. But if we could have billions and billions coming out each year from our own country, that's like going to be a really big game changer. Do you want to say anything about the Reko Diq and the area?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you said like everything about it, but yes, these are precious, areas, and I think Pakistan government is already, because the facilities have been built for so many years, so a little bit of mining is already happening over there. But yes, this contract with the Barak Gold or with the Saudis, Pakistan should be very, very careful about who is going to make these deals with, because these deals are not just going to be making bilateral changes, but also global changes, because right now Pakistan has to secure its friendship and this strategic ally of China, and Russia is also has come very close to Pakistan in the last 20 years, and it's the rare earth minerals, especially that are military grade type of things, that how can Pakistan give those rare earth to US or Western countries when although Trump was the one who forced the two sides for ceasefire, but China was the country who gave us the J-10Cs and the PL-15 missiles, which and all that surveillance equipments and all that actually ensured Pakistan its victory. So however much we pretend or we boost to be friends of the USA, we are actually much more closer to China and our regional partners. I should say that.
Yeah, that is true. Pakistan and China are best friends, and they are true brothers, and they have supported each other since the inception of China. Pakistan helped create China the way it is, and now China is always protecting Pakistan, whatever the case, however the grim the situation is. China is on Pakistan's side for sure. So coming back to the mineral resources that our country has, let's talk about chromite. Chromite is the stainless steel that is the backbone of a lot of industries, and chromite
Urdu. अच्छा.
मेजर रिजर्व्स क्रोमाइट के जो हैं वो मुस्लिम बाग और खुजदार में हैं और चागई बलूचिस्तान में, और ये वर्ल्ड क्लास डिपॉजिट्स हैं. और हमारी एनुअल क्रोमाइट जो एक्सपोर्ट्स हैं वो शायद इतनी ज़्यादा नहीं है, मगर हमारे पास पोटेंशियल है कि हम क्रोमाइट की से एक्सपोर्ट्स को बहुत ज़्यादा स्केल अप कर सकते हैं अगर हमारे पास मॉडर्न माइनिंग प्रैक्टिसेस हों और हमारे जो है इंटरनेशनली कोई आगे पीछे यूरोपियंस अमेरिकन हमारी मदद कर दें. और ऐसे ही एक और बहुत अच्छा रेयर अर्थ एलिमेंट है एंटिमोनी, जो कि फायर प्रूफिंग के लिए बहुत क्रूशल है, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स के अंदर, एमिनिशन के अंदर इस्तेमाल होता है, और किला अब्दुल्ला के अंदर इसके बहुत बड़े डिपॉजिट्स हैं. बलूचिस्तान के अंदर इसकी एक्सप्लोरेशन जो है वो जारी है, और नॉर्दर्न एरियाज़ के अंदर भी हमें लगता है कि देयर इज़ लाइक अ वेरी बिग पोटेंशियल. सो वहाँ भी साइंटिस्ट जो हैं वो जियोलॉजिस्ट वो अपनी रिसर्च कंटिन्यू रखते हैं. वैसे मैं भी बचपन में सोचता था कि ये जो जियोलॉजिस्ट होते हैं इनकी जॉब कितनी इंटरेस्टिंग होती होगी, पता नहीं कैसे आप जियोलॉजिस्ट बनते हो और फिर कौन से लोग आपको ये रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी देते हैं कि आप जाके मिनरल्स को तलाश करो. इट्स लाइक अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग जॉब, and you have to know a lot of things, how the world was back billions of years and how did it transform and where are the tectonic plates and what is the story behind all the mountains and all the rivers, and it's like an interesting field. And antimony market जो है वो globally बढ़ रही है in a rapid way, और अगर पाकिस्तान इस मिनरल को हम लोग सही तरह जो है एक्सपोर्ट कर दें तो इट कुड बी अ गेम चेंजर. एंड सो इज़ फ्लोराइट. फ्लोराइट के पहाड़ हैं हमारे पास, एंड इट इज़ एसेंशियली स्टील, एल्युमिनियम और जो ग्लास मेकिंग और केमिकल्स हैं इन सारों की प्रोडक्शन के अंदर फ्लोराइट जो है वो यूज़ होता है. एंड कोहाट खैबर पख्तूनख्वा के अंदर हमारे पास बहुत बड़े रिसोर्सेज हैं फ्लोराइट के, एंड देयर इज़ अ ह्यूज पोटेंशियल कि हम लार्ज स्केल प्रोडक्शन फ्लोराइट की शुरू कर सकते हैं. और कलाट और लसबेला के अंदर भी फ्लोराइड के बहुत ज़्यादा अनटैप्ड डिपॉजिट्स हैं जो कि फ्यूचर के अंदर हम लोग जो है एक उसको प्रॉपर हम लोग एक्सपोर्ट की तरफ लेकर जा सकते हैं. एंड another interesting rare earth mineral is gypsum. Gypsum जो है it has major deposits in Khiwara and Dera Ghazi Khan. Khiwara के अंदर और Dera Ghazi Khan के अंदर, and Kohat and Lasbela also have this element. And domestic production can supply construction sector with a big potential, and we can also use that in our exports as well. And finally, if we talk about the emeralds and the precious gemstones, and Pakistan is known for it. Pakistan is world famous for its gemstones, and especially the Swat Valley. It has the highest quantity of emeralds, and that is globally. There is no place on the whole wide world. And even when we used to go to Swat, when we were little, there's like people who have stones displaying their stones, and all of these stones are so beautiful, and some of them are so expensive. And these guys are just collecting these stones, going to the riverside and just picking up stones, and they get the highest quality emeralds that you can get anywhere around the world. And Gilgit-Baltistan and Azad Jammu Kashmir have huge untapped potential for
made in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa parliament about some deals that they are doing with foreign companies. Already people are protesting against it because people think that the government might, or the officials or the minister, they might make deals and take their own cuts from those deals and sell Pakistan has to be very careful. Pakistan has to be honest with their own people, with the future and progress of their own people. And, growth should be, I believe that growth should be green, and growth should be like, how, what do you say that, for everybody? Is a type of growth that benefits all the people, and it should not be in the capitalist mode in which a bunch of people or a few people become billionaires and trillionaires, and the rest of the people, the whole country, nation, that remains under the poverty line and barely survives and barely goes on with its life. So that thing is what needs to change. And you can have resources of billions and billions of dollars, but if your government, if अगर आपकी हुकूमत, अगर आपका जो political system है वो आपके लोगों के साथ खैर ख्वाह नहीं है, तो फिर बड़े से बड़े दुश्मन भी आपको इतना नुकसान नहीं पहुंचा सकते जितना आपकी अपनी जो है ना वो political framework जो है वो आपको नुकसान पहुंचा सकते हैं. सो अगर अल्लाह ताला ने हमें इतनी resources दे रखी हैं, इतना I think
That is great. A.m. in the morning.
we needed to talk about Gaza also, but maybe
Yeah,
we don't
maybe
have.
tomorrow we'll come
Yeah.
back with the live stream. And thank you for all the people who have been watching our live stream. And thank you for all the supporters. And thank you for all the comments. And obviously, we can do all this without you guys' support, even if you're from Pakistan or even if you're from India or anywhere else from the world. And please do always remember to like, share, and subscribe these live streams. And it's like a free way to support our channel and for our channel to grow. And with that, that was all the information that we had for you guys today.